guests appearing on this platform, they are guided by the rule. So today is June 2, 2022, and this edition of the program is playing host to members of the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative, JOCSAI. 2 days ago, JOCSAI marched at the Capitol building and petitioned members of the 54th National Legislatures, the 54th National Legislature. So today we have two members of the team in our studio. They have come to talk about the petitioning ceremony and to tell us some other things that they've planned for the organization. So JOCSA brings together civil society and community-based organizations under one umbrella called the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative. So they have come today to talk about those activities they've been involved with over the period. So in studio today, the Secretary General of the Center for the Exchange, the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinion, CEO. He is Dax Elliott, and he's a member of the steering committee of JOCSA. Also in studio is the chair of JOCSA, Amos Samuka. So they have come in studio so that we can talk about activities that will welcome them in studio before we go forward to our little things that matter. Amos, let's begin with you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome to studio.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zota. And I want to say good morning to listeners across the radio line. And I want to welcome you to this conversation. And I hope all of us will be a part.
Okay, that's the voice of Amos. And then we go to Elliot.
Thanks, Elliot, the name again. It's my pleasure to be here to use this opportunity to accentuate our struggle against corruption as we have begun a few days ago. And I want to ask everyone to follow and join us in the fight against corruption, especially members of the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative. Thank you for being here.
Okay, he's Elliot. And he's the Secretary General of the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinions. So, like we said, we're going to get back to our guests. But before we go to guests, let us take little things that matter. On the little things that matter, I want to greet His Excellency, the President of Liberia, Dr. George Monrovia, and say good morning, Your Excellency. And and also greet the peace-loving people of Liberia. Good morning to all of you, wherever you are, however you're listening. If you are in the diaspora and wherever you are, which part of the world you are, and following us on Integrity TV, we say good morning to you. And good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Mr. President, like we've always done on this platform, we use this occasion so that we bring things to your attention, maybe that you may not be aware of some of them, you may be aware of them. So we read in the front page Africa newspaper and other news outlets that the Minister of State at the signing ceremony of a World Bank fund or grant, he stated that the government was in injury time. The government was in injury time, and then he sounded caveat to all cabinet ministers to perform, to begin performing, or else they will take the back door. That means you are now required to start working. It means that all the things you've been doing over the past 3 to 4 years, you've been joking. It's now that you need to start working. That's what that particular thing that was reportedly said by the minister means. So the reason why we take this very seriously because the minister is the special assistant to the president. So he's the chief of office staff. So he's the chief of office staff to the president. So everything he says It relates to the presidency. For the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Nathaniel Fallow McGill, to take to public medium and reportedly make such a statement, it speaks volume. It is counterproductive. A government that has been in power since 2018 and you now in 2022, going to 2023 next year, which is election nearing period, and you are cautioning ministers and people to start performing now because underperformers will take the back door. Your Excellency, this is counterproductive. So what that means is all along, these ministers and cabinet officials, they've been on a free ride. So the entire process all along, it has been free ride. Everybody been doing his or her own thing. Nothing, no accountability. Everybody was doing his or her own thing. It's now that you're about to bring in the rule. Where are the rules that you're about to now start enforcing that were not being enforced? And what were the reasons why you were not enforcing those rules? For a government that was elected on the matter of change to come and say, we are now beginning to change the things that we said we were going to change. So if you are not ready to be part of this, you ought to give way. You ought to take the back door because we are going to be very rigorous. Only because this is we are in the eve of elections. When the footballer says, when the footballer tells you that the match is now in injury time, it means that they need to double up. If they were not playing good from the beginning, it's time for them to double up because within that period, it's time for them to be able to do whatever available to them, whatever skills available to them, they need to use it so that they can be able to score, to win that match. In this case, in this political era, in this political instant case, the government of Liberia is now telling us that all cabinet ministers should use everything available to them, including our resources, so that they can be able to win. That's what it means. So everything available to you, put it into use. You need to start acting now because you need to impress the people of Liberia. All along, you have not impressed them. They care less because they were not. There was no reason why you should impress them. It's now that you should start impressing them. That's the reason why all along, all of the things that have been happening, nobody took action, nothing happened. Everything went with impunity. Is now that they say it's time to work. So if you're not ready, give way. Your Excellency, this is seriously counterproductive to our governance process that you need to take these kind of statements coming from officials, especially somebody very close to you, one who is allegedly involved, who is reportedly the kingmaker. Everything, even including ministers and cabinet members, they have accused this minister of being the one who decides everything regarding this government. If this minister now start to say these kinds of things, it becomes so embarrassing, so concerning to all of us, so that we can bring it to your attention that the government need to take the people of the contract you sign with us. You need to take it very seriously. There shouldn't be no period to say this is the time that we're supposed to work. The moment you were elected, that was the time we expected you to start to work in the interest of the people, and not because you are going to elections. So you are telling your ministers now to start working to impress the people, to put false impression on the people so that you can get re-elected. That is wrong. We should not be saying these kinds of things. We need concrete actions to be taken. That's why we've always called for, especially in terms of transparency and accountability. How transparent are we? That takes us to the next point. Your Excellency, we are concerned about donor monies that have been, diverted from one account to another, from one purpose to another, without going through the proper channel. Your Excellency, these things are not creating any good image for our country. They are seriously causing fatigue in the donor community. We're not gaining trust of the people so that they can fund everything that we do. We need to stop what we are doing so that we do it better in the interest of the people. We cannot continue to do the same thing and expect that the change that we want will come overnight. It comes with what we do, the action that we take. That's why will bring the change that we anticipate. That change will not come unless we ourselves lead the change that we want to see. Quickly, the next thing we want to talk about, Your Excellency, we want to talk about the need to change the narrative. The narrative has been every project we see ongoing in the country, we've been funding it by ourselves through domestic revenues. So domestic revenue we generated, those are money that we've been using to fund roads and other projects that we've been doing. But these narratives are not true. World Bank, 40 million to the Ministry of Public Works. So what do we say to the people? So why are we telling the people that we are using domestic revenue when we have donors are still funding projects that we are implementing? Donors are still giving us money to implement projects in the interest of the people of Liberia. Why not we be clear to the people? Rather than telling them that we are using domestic revenue, there's no fund coming from anywhere, we're using domestic revenue. That's the reason why things are tight on us. These are the narratives we are sending out. We need to change the narrative so that we get things doing better for the people of Liberia. Thank you. Because of time, we're going to stop it there. And we slip over all of the other things that we needed to talk about because we're going to talk about members of the 54th National Legislature. So we're going to skip that. And also elections and we're going to skip it. We'll take a break. When we come back, we go over to our guests to begin our discussion. Let's take a break. Thanks for rejoining us. The program you are in tune to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM and is relayed on Prime FM in Monrovia. So today we have Amos Samukar in studio. He's the chair of JOCSAI, and we also have this steering committee member of JOCSAI in studio. He's Dax Elliott. So both of them have come to talk about activities of JOCSAI. Let's begin with Amos, the chairman. Let's hear you. How is JOCSAI?
Well, so far we are doing great and we are pushing our agenda very far and fast.
What's the agenda you are pushing?
Well, we are pushing the agenda of transparency and accountability, and with that we have been able to accomplish most of our activities.
Okay. All right. So what are some of the activities prior to the petitioning ceremony? What are some of the activities that you've been engaged with that you can maybe highlight?
So at JOCSAI, we have been able to accomplish a lot since the beginning of our project. That was since February. So we have done like a couple of community stakeholders engagement, wherein we create a maximum awareness on anti-corruption related activities that occurs in our communities. And then we helped those local citizens in the community to understand the kind of action that somehow bring corruption activities alike, like how you can report them to the rightful authorities and how they themselves can prevent it from happening. So we've been to a lot of communities. We've been to West Point, Nikrutan, Bannersville, Clarendon, and also we have also have a basic engagement with the National Muslim Council. We discuss the same issue of fighting anti-corruption issues in our community, and at the religious level within the Muslim community, they fully consented through their national chairperson and fully support our activities. In fact, they even pledged support to the extent that they are willing to prepare some script that will be like in the form of proclaiming a message in their various mosques, so that this issue of transparency will be passed across in all of their mosques, so that people who comes to pray will understand how they should act with integrity in all of their dealing on a daily basis. So besides that, also we have series of communications sent to the Capitol building, and in our mind, we knew that we were going to send a petition, and then we know that sending a petition wasn't just the issue, but then we have to create other avenue where we could lobby in order for those petition to be passed into law. So we did that engagement previous to the match we had last week. So we have done a couple of things like what we mentioned so far.
Okay, Dax, let's hear you. Maybe you can just give us a little background of the significance of CSOs coming together, CSOs and CBOs coming together under an umbrella called JOCSAI.
So thank you so much again, Dax earlier. What I would like to say is to attach this effort to the international agenda against corruption. Like we stated yesterday, this struggle against corruption is tied to Sustainable Development Goal 16. Sustainable Development Goal 16 is a global goal set by the United Nations in its realization of the fact that corruption is one of the key reasons why countries are lacking behind in the development of infrastructure in the lives of their people. So, to address this issue, the United Nations created 17 development goals, and the 16 of them is the one that directly targets what we are involved in. So, the goal has this particular subject, the goal has 10 outcome targets, which include to reduce violence, protect children from abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and violence, promote the rule of law, and ensure equal access to justice, combat organized crime and illicit financial and arms flow, substantially reduce corruption. We take key note of this: substantially reduce corruption and bribery, develop effective, accountable, and transparent institutions, ensure responsive, inclusive, and representative decision making, strengthen the participation in global governance, provide universal legal identity, ensure public access to information, and protect fundamental freedoms. So, on this agenda, in 1993, Transparency International was created in Berlin, Germany, and spread its tentacles to other countries that are member states of the United Nations. As a result of that, the Liberia chapter for the Transparency International becomes CENTAL. So since 2004, CENTAL has been there pushing Liberia towards achieving or living consistent with this international agenda against corruption. It has been doing significantly well. Why do we want a bill to establish to be established, a special court to be established for the trial of all corruption cases? Because we are aware that the courts got turned. When their term conclude, they go, corruption cases lack about. And they need to be timely responded to. The delay in responding to corruption case is also an incentive for corruption to occur. When we are naming and shaming timely, we think we will make headway in corruption. So we want a special court to be established that will evade term limit of the court, and that we can be able to speedily and effectively prosecute people whose hands are caught in the cookie jar. They will also call for the bill to revise the criminal procedure law, thereby removing the statute of limitation from cases related to corruption. Why do we want this bill to be passed? Statute of limitation is a permission for people to evade justice. You commit a crime here, a serious public crime, and you just abscond. Be somewhere after 10 years, you return here. We've lost our opportunity to try you because you absconded from justice, and the 10 years has elapsed. When we take you to the law, the people look at the case and say, "But the case cannot be prosecuted because it has passed its term limit." So that's one of the issues we're calling for. There should be no limit on the prosecution of corruption cases, so that when you commit crime, no matter where you are, the day you return on the motherland, if our relations with the country you are in is strong, we can call for your extradition. If it's not strong, we bear patience for the time you will return. The day you return, we hold you and subject you to our criminal justice system so that you can be properly prosecuted. We also call for the bill to amend Section 10.1 of the Code of Conduct for public officials. Section 10.1, we're talking about access declaration, how effective it is, how we can access it in the public, how transparent it is. We talk about the draft revised Act of 208 bill to give LECC the power to directly prosecute. LECC is not in charge. LECC will assemble and forward to the Justice Ministry. That's where politics come in the picture. So we want LECC now, an autonomous agency, to be able to prosecute cases by ourselves under the watchful eye of civil society organization, although we are there to checkmate the operations of the LECC where necessary. We're also calling for the Whistleblower Act, disclosure and protection. When you whistleblow, how do we protect you? We need law for that. We're also calling for a bill to establish a witness protection agency. Witnesses must be protected because these people are the assets we take to the court so that we can be able to convict and not just indict. But when we take you there, the material evidence we take must be sufficient enough to convict, not just indict. Indictment is an allegation. We take you to court without necessary evidence to convict. You could escape justice. So we want these bills to be passed as a matter of urgency. If we must make stride against corruption in this fight against corruption, if we must be able to open the space for investors to come here to create job opportunities for the people, the lawmakers must see reason to act on this as is. Where there is a need in their mind for any adjustment to be made, we don't want any adjustment made without our interaction or our consultation with us, our involvement. Call us, let's sit. Because what we have forwarded, we forward on the basis of research. Okay. Why are we lacking behind in the fight against corruption? So you can go beyond the scenes and say, only want to put here, we agree, we'll scratch it up. You will be, negating the rationale for our including in our request to you. So this is so far where we are and how serious we are. Our attempt is not a masquerade. They put us on the security of the state, because if corruption is too much, if people are not funding, people are not remedying corrupt practices through the court, people will not want to go to the court. And then we'll slide off the balance of democracy. And just imagine us falling back into our war years. That is our fear. So we are on this agenda together.
Okay, boss, let's hear from you. What's the impression of the program and during the petition? Were you excited about the turnout and especially young people jubilating and parading from Congo Town to Capitol Hill? What's your impression?
Well, on that day, I was very happy because we were actually able to pull up the kind of a number we needed for the march, especially when it comes to bringing young people together and avoiding contradiction to our agenda for the day.
Intruders.
It really helped us because we were able to manage all of those that were put up on the street. And our march started from Congoton all the way to the Capitol building. We presented our petition statement without any intrusion from any contra or party. Everything went according to our plan, and it was so interesting.
Did you get audience from the legislature?
Oh yes. When we got to the Capitol building on the ground of the Capitol building, we waited not too long. I think it was somewhere 15 to 20 minutes. And then the chair on claims and petition was called upon to come forward to receive the bill. And it was so interesting to the extent that he...
To receive the petition?
Yeah, to receive the petition. I mean, thank you. So he came out to us and gave us like a welcoming speech and tell us we were welcome and we are ready to listen to you. Whatever the issue is, we can march easily in defense of the Capitol building, and then we can present the petition statement to him. And all of us just did accordingly. We went into the ground of the Capitol building and the petition was presented.
All right, the program you are in tune to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM and is relayed on Pram FM in Monrovia. Pram FM is on the assigned frequency of 105.5 FM. So today we are talking about JOCSAI. JOCSAI is the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative. It's an initiative that brings together civil society and community-based organizations under one umbrella so that they can join the fight against corruption. It is part of activities being implemented by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, like we have the National Integrity Forum. The National Integrity Forum is a conglomerate of public integrity institutions, including but not limited to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Auditing Commission, the Financial Intelligence Unit, the LERTR, and other integrity institutions that are in the country, including civil society, CENTAL, Accountability Lab. All of these institutions, they are part of the National Integrity Forum, and they've been trying to work as a unit, working as a team so that they can build integrity and build the culture of integrity across all sectors of our country. They've been engaging different communities, having communities dialogue, and having forums in the communities, bringing people together to talk to them about integrity building. That is actually what's happening with this JOCSAI. So they are come from different organizations, but they are under one umbrella, and they petition the member of the 54th National Legislature so that they can see reason to pass anti-graft instruments that are before them speedily. We want speed so that we attach urgency level, pass other bills. There are other bills that they call 4G bills. I mean, let these bills be seen as 4G bills. It shouldn't be only those other bills that come from, you know where it can come from. They become 4G bills.
Especially the code of conduct. We need it as fast as
Let's do this. Let's attach urgency to this so that it can be passed. If you're out there, you want to be part of this program, you want to open the line as soon as possible so that you can be part of the program whilst we go on with our discussion. The number to call 0779 000691. That is 0779 000691. 0779 000691. That's the number to call to be live on the program Integrity Watch. And today we are talking about activities of the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. And they come together to be able to fight corruption and join the fight against corruption. Let's get plans. Whilst we talk about, he's going to focus more on the petition, and I want to hear from you as chair. What do you have planned for the period ahead?
Okay, well, we have a couple of things lined up already. Our activity plans for June and July is already been concluded upon,
Okay.
and we'll start acting upon it effectively as of next week. But the issue there is that we are much more focused and paying key attention to some of the key bills that were submitted in our petition,
Okay.
especially the one that has to do with the issue of code of conduct.
Okay.
Is a too sore bill. Now, we want to avoid the issue that has to do with people carrying on rumors about our lawmakers or government employees that this person here was renting a house after they got a job with the government. After 6 months, they building mansions. Now, why if you declare your asset before taking the government job, and it happens to be that you are a business person, maybe you have some investment going on. If you definitely build your house after 6 months, somebody will not come and say, "Oh, that government money you use, right?" But why if you don't say anything? So everyone would just assume that it was because of the government money that he started building horse, you buying big car, and you doing all kind of a luxury of life. So this bill is very important to preserve those government employees or integrity. So you can be free, so you can work around free in your community. So people will not be looking at you to say that our government money is stealing, like why you buying this kind of a car in our community. So it's somehow very, very important that this issue of the Code of Conduct Bill should be passed on the 4G level. And per our information gathered so far, it has already been passed by the lower house. It is in the upper house. So per our planned activity as of next week, we're going to begin engaging those responsible people within the upper house to pass the 4G bill. We needed to go as fast because elections are coming. It is possible some of those lawmakers will not be coming back. It is possible some of them will retain their seat. It is possible some will be employed to different government or agency and in different position. But we just want to know, what do you have when you are coming on board, so that if you are on a job, somebody will not criticize you out of the sudden when you do things that are in line with what you were having before taking the job. Even if you are done serving, people will still look at your document and say, before this person came to power, they had this kind of an investment, they have this kind of a business going on. So based on their investment with the document with the LACC, we can vow for them that they didn't use any of our government resources, or they didn't squander or embezzle or misuse any of our funding. This is what they work for, and that's what they are using. So we will be going to the upper house and we'll be engaging them on this kind of an issue. We need it to be passed very quickly before election, because we want all of our citizens to be look in our community with integrity. We don't want to see lawmakers passing around bending their head, and even though you are doing the right thing or not doing the right thing, you'll be somehow feeling bad because of what people will be saying. When people criticize you and you know you are doing the right thing, you feel good. But when people criticize, you know you're on the wrong, you are ashamed of yourself, because people are bringing in light what you are doing in darkness. It's embarrassing. So we want to pass this bill as soon as possible with their help, so that all this kind of issue can be settled within our communities. Besides that, we'll also be going back to our stakeholders engagement, because we realize that the religious community that has to do with the Christian community, the Muslim community, including the traditional or leaders as well. They have a key role to play. When you go into the community, you see pastors, you see imam, you see traditional council leaders. Now, if all of those people comes together within our community and fight corruption, if they keep preaching integrity messages in all of their assembly, it will help us curtail the issue of corruption at community level. And if that is done, if those moral values are inside in our young people at the community level, the issue of integrity, tomorrow when those people ascend into higher position, into on national level platforms to serve our nation, we will not have issue about integrity. So we'll be going back to our community engagement. We'll be meeting the council of churches leaders. We'll be meeting with the council of the National Muslim Council. We'll also be meeting with the traditional National Traditional Leaders Council of Liberia. Then we'll also broaden our effort to go as far as meeting with other stakeholders unit that forms under this general bodies, like the National Student Muslim Association. There are also a group of people that will be paying attention to in our next engagement.
Okay, let's get we are sorry for the feedback. Dax, let's get to you. Let's hear from.
So, a financial audit of the legislature covering the last unaudited years.
But I mean,
And this is not a request.
mhm,
This is a mandate because it is enshrined in the public financial management law
okay.
that everywhere public money goes, you got to audit.
Mhm.
There must be quarterly audit. And it surprises us that budget after budget will be passing. We will not see audit report or quarterly report or budget performance from the legislature alone.
Peace be to her, actually.
So I think
the
GAC
late,
needs to.
the late Auditor General, when she appeared on our program,
Yeah.
one of the editions, and we asked her about the audit of the. That was one of the challenges we talked about. That the national legislature, that's one of the challenges we faced. They were not willing to be audited. They were not willing to be audited. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where are you calling from?
Well, this is Edward Shannon, and I call from around Monrovia. The fact the mailing center. My brother, the show is good. I'm listening to the show. But where my interest lies is whistleblower. How are we going to be protected? Because, the country will find themselves. The bad guys have the money. The bad guys have the security. They have the contact. So how are we going to be protected as whistleblowers? That's my first concern. The second one is kindly take the time to call the number you called earlier when the show started, where if in case there's corruption anywhere to be reported, please. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just go to the number quickly. The number to report issues about corruption to the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center or CENTAL is 4432. So it's 4432. That's just a short code that you can call.
It's a free of charge.
Yes, free of charge. However, if you want to contact the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to report issues about corruption, you can also call the number 0555. That is 3 times 395 728. 0555 395 728 or 4048. Better still, you can call 0776 6000 50. Those are the numbers you can call to report issues about corruption. And you talked about whistleblowers.
Throw a little light on it.
Yes, okay.
So I hope you are listening. We are actually seeking because we are aware that with the kind of environment we are in, whistleblowers are exposed to harm, to danger. So we are asking the state to, in this particular act, if it is passed, once you are making a disclosure, you require protection. So the disclosure and protection must be made that the Whistleblower Protection Act will seek to protect any government official or member of the public who reasonably believes, who is reasonably believed to have evidence of any activity constituting a violation of the law, rule, or regulations, or mismanagement, gross waste of funds, abuse of authority, or substantial and specific danger to the public good. So once you come in up with this kind of information, you must be protected. You cannot be whistleblowing against somebody of power and influence. You just be vulnerable in the public. Until you appear before the court, until you can make your information known before the court, until we can use that material, that sufficient material evidence to convict. I mean, we can't just let you be out. We must provide protection for you. So that extent to which we are advocating for the passage of the whistleblower. The chairman want to add.
Okay, let me just explain a little bit part of it because he's asking like, how are they going to be protected when they blow the whistle? Now, in our petition statement, we are requesting that the government open an exclusive agency in our nation that will be directly in charge of this kind of a situation, wherein a person sees a corruption activity and they report it, and if their life is in danger, that agency comes in to secure the person. Now, in our petition statement, we had some suggestion that we made in a particular statement. If that bill is passed, that number one, if you are threatened because you blow a whistle, that agency that we are suggesting that they should open should come and pick you up and carry you to a secure place where you will not be easily reached, like what they call the safe house. When you follow the American system, the guy is safe. What you and your entire family, if necessary, will be taken away and be kept in a safe house. Now, if the threat is that so heavy and it is of much concern, it would be possible that you are even taken out of this country for your safety and the safety of your life and that of your family. So it's not just about sort of taking you away from your home and keeping you in a safe place, but if the threat continues to be an imminent to your life and other stuff, we take you out of this country. That is what we are proposing with this issue of the government establishing the whistleblower protection unit, that they will come for you, they protect you. We had an example when the internal audit carry on their audit in less than 2 or 3 months, all of them die. Out of the sudden, the other one, they say he was driving and he made accident. He didn't make accident before the audit. It was after the audit he made accident and he died. And the other one fall from upstep, he died. Now, if we have this agency in existence, if this kind of a transparency issues are coming up, we have you under the protection agency unit so that they will take care of you and guard you every single minute of your life until the case go to court. Even if the case passes through the court and the perpetrator is eventually convicted of the crime, the protection unit will also take care of you throughout until the imminent threat on your life and your family is somehow minimized, if possible, that it won't be in existence anymore.
The program is Integrity Watch. It's a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM and is relayed on Prime FM on the assigned frequency of 105.5 FM. So today we're talking about so the bills actually came the emanated from the executive and they were sent to the legislature for review and passage. So they are intended to help the fight against corruption, like they have said explicitly. They talked about it that we are joining the advocacy for the lawmakers to see the need to pass these bills so that we can best fight corruption in Liberia. So if you pass a bill to give the LACC prosecutorial power to pick up case by itself to go to court, I mean there will not be delay and then establish Code F. So the Code F will now be dedicated to the prosecution of corruption cases so that we can fast track cases that will be coming related to corruption. So that's the reason why we are joining this advocacy. We are joining this effort, very laudable effort of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission and the executive branch of government, that they have submitted these bills to the lawmakers so that they can see the need to pass these bills in the interest of the people, because they are the direct representative of the people. They said they are the direct representative of the people. That's what the law says. That's who they are. So that's why we went to them, so that they can work in the interest of the people. Like we said, we asked that these bills be added, 4G be added to these bills, if possible 5G, so that we can
harmless.
so that we can have it done speedily
as possible.
Let's take your parting comment, Emma.
Okay, before we leave, I want to say thank you to all of those CBO and CSOs organization that we are working together, especially the PMPT, Book Before Boys, Youth of Certain OE. We have YOS, we have CO, CRF, CRA, and we are and so much for their level of cooperation for the past time that we have worked together. And I know with our effort that we are pushing for before the end of this initiative, we will make a maximum result that we have to fight corruption-related issues in our community and the nation at large. I want to say thank you so much to the CENTAL family and also the Swedish embassy for their support in terms of funding all of our activities. I want to say thank you so much to whoever, one way or the other, in your own believe that is supporting us. We might not be seeing you, but somehow you believe in the cause that we are fighting for. I want to thank you for standing up with us. I want to thank you for believing what we are doing. Let's join forces together and let's do what we can do, even in our little corners, to fight corruption in our weak ways. Thank you so much.
Mine is to caution the public to be as eager to get involved with this fight against corruption as they will be with other political issues. We're talking corruption. It's something that bothers all of us. It must concern us. Few of us have come forward to raise the argument. We cannot do all without your support. We need you to get involved. JOCSAI will be going to community, churches, mosques, schools, to increase public awareness against corruption. We ask the public to be with us. We also ask you to use your regular time on various talk shows. Call on the lawmakers to pass those bills into laws. They are important to the fight against corruption. Without them, we don't know how successful we can be. So we all must get involved and call on our lawmaker to, as in the word of our host, act on these bills as a matter of 4G. 4G becoming outdated. We need 5G passage ready. There is a quite bill that should ensure the 5G passage in our district. It will not be the concession bill. It will not be the bill to establish businesses. It will be the bill to fight corruption responsible for keeping us.
That's the voice of God earlier. And then earlier you heard Amos Samuka, he's the chair of JOCSAI. So both of them have been our guests on the program in Capital Live. Like we said, it's a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability. We encourage you to join this fight. We are not encouraged to know that this particular effort, everyone will be following it, but because the mentality is that corruption is a normal thing in areas of the state, that's business as usual. But we can't, we know that we can make it. So the program is next program. Thanks to all of our stations, the stations that we made this broadcast. Let's begin.